What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, and college football fans everywhere? Welcome to the Pig Trail Network. I am Tyzilla83. If you would, at the end of the video, like, comment, share the content that you're watching. Whether you're a Hog fan, or Virginia Tech fan, SEC fan, whatever, share the content. I would appreciate it. And, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button down below. We're talking about the Belk Bowl. Once again, another second-half debacle, another second-half failure for the Razorbacks. It's Mizzou 2.0. Not a good night in the Belk Bowl. Started out great, ended up being not so great. Let's go over the stats really fast. Arkansas's Austin Allen would go 18 of 31, 278 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Raleigh Williams on the ground, 12 carries, 34 yards. Keon Hatcher, 6 catches, 105 yards with a touchdown. For Virginia Tech, Evans would go 21 of 33, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Evans would also carry the ball 22 times for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. Phillips, the wide receiver, would be their leading receiver for the night. 6 catches, 115 yards. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, there's nothing here. You play fantastic in the first half, just like you did against Mizzou, similar to how you played against Texas A&M in the first half, and then you just find a way to lose the game in the second half. And as much as we want to blame Rob Smith and scream at Dan Enos, rightfully so, you got to wonder what was going through the minds of Jeremy Sprinkle, who got in trouble before kickoff. What was up with Drew Morgan? What the hell did he do to get kicked out of the game? I never saw any footage. Did he punch somebody? Did he kick somebody? Did he talk about one of the officials' moms? I mean, what the hell happened there? It felt like Brett Bielema never had control of this football team once they got in Charlotte. Were they mesmerized by NASCAR? What the hell happened to this team once they got to Charlotte? But then again, this has become this team's identity. You don't know what Arkansas team is going to show up. Especially a game like this, again, similar to Mizzou, where you don't play in the second half. It doesn't help when your quarterback throws into double coverage. It doesn't help when Drew Morgan fumbles the football, which should have been a first down and goal at the 2-yard line. Instead, it becomes a touchback, and you push yourself back 60 yards the opposite way and have to start all over. It doesn't help that you became one-dimensional. In most games that Arkansas has been blown out in or lost close by, it's because they became one-dimensional. Raleigh Williams, 12 carries, 34 yards. That's the SEC's leading rusher. When they really need to run the football, they struggle at doing it. And maybe that comes back on the offensive line. Maybe that comes back on play calling. I'm not really sure. You can't be one-dimensional against teams like Virginia Tech. You can't be one-dimensional against teams like Alabama, Auburn, LSU. You can't do it. Or you back yourself into a corner. You become predictable. Your receivers run predictable routes. Your quarterback holds onto the football for 45 years before he decides to let go of it, if he does, or he just takes a sack. Again, they just, and you saw the stats. ESPN put the stats up, minus 66 points or something on the year in the second half. That's awful. They're getting outscored. They were getting outscored in the second half in 2016 like nothing I've ever seen. Now for off season, it's about accountability. There needs to be some huge changes for Arkansas on defense. That goes without saying. I do still believe that Rod Smith, I don't know what else to say. 2 years of bad defenses. This year they were historically bad, especially against the run. 2 years in a row of this. What other team would keep someone around like that? You have to cut ties. You have to. You got to make necessary changes. And I know they're going to adopt the 3-4 next year on defense. So if it's me, I'm thinking let's go out and get a defensive coordinator who knows that defense, who understands the 3-4 a bit better, and let's build from there. Let's not stick with the same Rob Smith, with the same defensive line coach. I mean, I don't know if they can afford to to clean house on defense or not, but something has to happen. Offensively, you need to have a conversation with your staff on offense. You cannot become one-dimensional. And that's what happened to them on offense, and that's why they got blown out in some games this year, and that's why you had a game like Virginia Tech. You got to give credit to Virginia Tech tonight, though. They made the right adjustments at halftime. They did what they needed to do to climb back into this game. Yes, of course, Arkansas helped them out a little bit. But you know what? Sometimes that's just what it takes to overcome a 24-0 deficit. What they were able to do defensively, the adjustments they made, obviously made, they knew that they'd backed Arkansas into a corner on offense, and they took advantage. They cut the head off the snake. And the rest is history. They came back and won. I think it was their greatest comeback ever for them. I think it was the largest deficit that they've ever come back and won. I think before it was like a 20-point deficit against Duke or something. Well, now they came back from a 24-0 deficit in the Belk Bowl and found a way to win. Again, got to give credit to Virginia Tech. Good game. For Arkansas, 7-6. Disappointing season. You hope that you can we know who they've already signed. I feel like recruiting is heading in the right direction. I know a lot of fans, they're probably going to finish bottom 4 in the SEC in recruiting, but no coach has ever come to Arkansas and recruited, a top 10, top 12 class. So you might as well get used to that. But I think recruiting is heading in the right direction. I like what they do have coming back on both sides of the ball. We'll just have to see if they can do something about it. We'll have to see if they can take advantage. That's all I got for now. I'll have I've got some content that's coming out. I'm going to talk about Brett Bielema's first 4 years. I can't wait to do that video. I dug up some notes. We're going to talk about recruiting and this Arkansas basketball game against Florida. I got to cover that too. So look for those videos. Thanks for checking out this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.